Good morning, I'm Dr. Bond. We have BAFA, by assholes for assholes, division, installment number 7. Should presenters at academic meetings be made robotic? Forceps of our minds, said H. Herbert George Wells, the forceps of our minds are clumsy forceps. And they crush the truth a little when they take hold of it. Who hasn't seen that when they've tried to relate something? So true. And you've got a bunch of your sweatshop workers, there they are, in this obviously very dangerous thing. Every single part you can see in this thing is moving. And if the people look like if they get out of line, they're going to get lose an arm or something. But here you have the sweatshop. There are those minions working in there. And they give their paper, they try to speed up, they give the paper quickly. You don't comment, you don't do anything with someone else's paper. You just let it go by because you're on your way to give the next one, and the next one, and the one after that. Can this be robotized? Now here we have what I think will be a very good model. You got the glass for the multiple eyes there. You got some portability. This is called JGF1. You're called a fellow. When you do post-residency work, you're a fellow, you're a glaucoma or a corneal fellow. And so we have here JGF1, Jolly Good Fellow. Here is the Jolly Good Fellow. Hi, my name is Rosie the Fellow. I assemble data and I'm jolly good. Now the reason this slide is like this is we got the professor looking over and you're advertising to him, why do you need a JGF1? They don't mope, they don't get jealous, they don't cry, they don't report you to human resources, they don't argue with you, they don't argue with the other fellows, they don't flirt, they don't distract, they don't want time off, they don't bitch about call, they don't bitch about no weekends off, they don't show up late, they don't know more than you and make you look bad, they don't bitch about working late, they don't get calls from work, from home, they don't sulk, they don't pout, they don't bitch about they don't get their meals on time. They don't bitch about not getting meals at all. They don't try to outshine you, quibble, make you look bad at a department meeting. They don't want any academic credit. So there we have JGF1, the mechanical fellow, which nobody can deny. They don't get hurt. They don't bleed all over your clean floor, but pester you with dumb questions. You want an author, they don't want an author spot on papers. They don't want academic credit. They don't question you in front of anybody else. They don't bitch when they're doing all the work. What are they for? They don't say anything about the administration. They don't repeat what you say in the privacy of your office. Repeat what you say about the administration, the department. They don't require any reminding about personal hygiene. They don't get moody or bitchy or depressed or disenchanted. And they show up for work every day. What's to improve on? My name is Rosie the Fellow. I do data, and I am jolly good, which nobody can deny. They don't say much. They don't ask a lot of damned questions all the time, the mechanical fellow. They don't tell you that your research ideas suck. They don't tell you you're wrong about something. You don't have to give them clear direction. You don't have to listen to them, God knows. They don't drink all the coffee, try and second guess you in department meetings. They keep quiet about what really goes on in your office suite. Absolutely ideal. Should you have more than one? Should you have more than one? Once you've heard this, you're sold. Well, gee, now what the New Englanders say, live free or die. Let's take in a boy. They say a boy in this case. One boy is almost as good as a man. 2 boys are half as good as a man. 3 boys are useless. This doesn't really apply to Rosie the Fellow. They can do that. You can wing a little more money out of the budget. The budget tells you what you can afford, but it doesn't keep you from buying it. Certainly if it's not your money and you can get it out of the apartment. And also now there's a fellow to leave home. Gee, unless you get your work here, you can't go to the next meeting and sweatshop the next papers and get all that great stuff and hobnob with all your other guys who are getting the same thing happening to them. And then the person that gets to go gets that much more pleasure out of it. People seem to enjoy things more when they know a lot of other people have been left out of the pleasure. And, that's a melancholy truth, but they feel that. Once again, you want to feel important. So half of the harm it does is those guys rubbing elbows. You must be sensitive to the ethnic differences, of course. Things have differences, but it's great when the fellows get along. Great paper, man. High five. Sometimes they can do other tasks for you in the office. Many academic Twitticus guys are not excelled in meeting patients or human relations. Some are. Some are woefully not. And you'd hear one of these fellows say, sometimes my chief, lacks the human touch, but then they call for me. I handle that. That actually happens a lot, particularly somebody, and I don't blame them. So you have these fellows who have multiple purposes, not just doing these other things. Now, occasionally the fellows don't get along. You can have some turf war. You can have a little bit of tension in the office. Here we have a little confrontation. But usually you can get it come down. But they go to a meeting and they're happy. And there they are at their big powwow, presenting those papers, getting that stuff, that data's coming down the line for your CVs, the big minion meeting of all those guys. Question, can big data production be made robotic? And in fact, they use people in these jobs right now. In fact, it kind of already has. It kind of already is and has. And there they are talking to each other, hurry up. That data is not going to manufacture itself. Can it be made robotic? It's not that much of a leap, but hell yes. Thank you very much. It's a Bond Report. This has been the BAFA series. Please subscribe. Please continue. Thank you.